This chat, as I drive home, is about Christmas spirits, and that's my seatbelt reminding me to buckle up. Sorry about that. That's what those tones are for, safety. But paranormal, Christmas ghosts and such. Like, and when I say that, I'm talking about, say, the spirits of, what's that story? A Christmas Carol? Ebenezer Scrooge, Christmas Past, Christmas Present, Christmas Future. What about Krampus? You know, another, that would be, he would be more of a cryptid than a spirit, I guess. But so, you know, let's talk about that kind of stuff. I will give you a disclaimer. I am driving, so my interaction with chat is going to be sporadic, so I apologize. But safety first. I don't want to become a spirit that you guys get to hunt. You know, the spirit of Mr. Fedora. But so I often wondered, as I listen to these Christmas classics and people talk about them, elves on the shelf, which is of course a newer phenomenon, Christmas cat, that I don't know much about that story. Krampus, Santa Claus himself should be now. Is he a cryptid? Is he a spirit? Is that how he's able to get around so quickly? You know, things like that. I've always pondered since I've dealt with the paranormal. Hello, by the way. I see you said hello. Sorry, this is a very busy intersection, so I try to pay a little extra attention here. Now, the other side is where I drive is some dead spots, so I'm not getting off the live, but I might lose connection for a half a minute. Boy, that sun is bright, is it not? So how would we, in the paranormal field, go about capturing evidence of Christmas spirits? You know, how would we prove that Ebenezer Scrooge truly had those 3 visits? Because by the time he would tell somebody, everything would have happened in past tense, and I would assume it's a one-time deal, right? So for his situation, it'd be pretty much writing down his story more than trying to prove. But of course, with Warren Area Society Paranormal, we've always believed in not be real to us, but it is real to the client. So we try to do what we can to help alleviate any issues. So we would go in as if what he saw was 100% gospel. So how would we go about setting up? Since most of it was set up with his bed chambers in his bedroom, that would probably be our main focus of investigating the tale of these 3 spirits that were able to do that in one night. So so we'd set up our cameras and our REM pods and things like that. Though, unless it became a residual haunting, I wouldn't have much hope for it. You know what I mean? But we'd still give it our 100% view. So I think in that situation, voice recorders and such would probably be the best way to go to try to capture those 3 spirits. Technically 4, because his partner, Bob Marley, is that the right name for him? Was visiting him too. And then from there, what about Krampus? Krampus is a cryptid, I believe. What type? I don't know. Part of the Fae folk? So how would we go about investigating them? Well, we I got several grandkids. Would I set them up for bait? No, I would not do that. But so we would have to study the lore and the history of the haunting would be very beneficial and almost necessary for this particular investigation, because we'll go a different way today. But it would also be beneficial to see the research and see if there's certain locations that is prominently affected by Krampus, or is this a very widespread situation? Is it localized? Is there anything that we could do? Like, I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that sage would not scare Krampus away. You know, let me burn a little sage in your face. Can you imagine coming at that big cryptid and trying all that? Yeah, we would probably get our butts handed to us, right? Silver bullets, I mean, what would be the weakness that we would use? But that's something totally different than ghost hunters investigating the paranormal. We're not cryptid hunters or anything. We're not trying to take out Bigfoot or aliens or whatever might paranormal situation. You know, we're primarily a investigation type situation. That's a lot of emojis there. But we would try to research and do our best to find out the proper people that would be able to handle that situation. That's the other thing we try to do. If it's something that we cannot handle personally, we've tried to network with teams and such to help us figure out what can be done, if anything. I just don't know what to do for Krampus. Now, let's move on to jolly old Saint Nick, Santa Claus, Papa Jesus, Père Noël. I hope I'm saying all the right things, because YouTube has translators, and what I might be saying funky toe cheese. But so how would we go about? Obviously, Christmas would be the 24th would be the only time we could really investigate Santa. Go to the native UFO alien, is he sees orbs every night. Oh yeah? Who's that again? Who sees that every night? But so yeah, so we'd be limited to one night only on investigating, and obviously it'd have to be a place with kids, because last time I knew, Saint Nick doesn't visit adults. Native UFO. Okay, I'll check that out. Is that a YouTube channel? Forgive me, I'm driving, so I can't. I mean, I could glance at the screen, but it's not something that I could fully concentrate on. I'll look back over the messages and or the chat and find everything. Okay, I'll check him out, him or them, whatever the situation may be. So yeah, we would have to set up for one night, and like I said, what do you guys think? Is Saint Nicholas a spirit? Is he a cryptid? Is he just eternal that doesn't die? I mean, you know, Santa Claus, like in the Tim Allen movie, where it gets handed down to different generations of Santa Clauses. But he would be a tough one, because obviously we'd set up laser grids and REM pods and voice recorders and video cameras on the outside too. We would oh, there's a deer over there. Deer hiding in the wood pile. we would definitely have to take the time to, this is a beautiful sight up here. We would definitely have to have cameras on the outside, telescopes and such, start putting in EVP, or not EVP, but alien research. Treat his sleigh like a UFO, and treat his sleigh like a UFO, and try to get that type of evidence as well. Maybe Santa's an alien. But so that would be how we would probably try to approach him, treat him like a spirit, and set up different location points based off of the lore and where to set up at and such. Trigger objects, I guess, would be kids, right? He's not mentioned to harm children, so we wouldn't have to worry like we would with Krampus. So this was the only thing I was worried about coming this way. I got all season tires, but this road doesn't have winter very little winter maintenance. I was kind of hoping it'd be a little clearer than this up here, but it's presently 43 degrees, so let's hope it's not too bad. But now I've heard there's a different spirit, older than Krampus and Santa and the Christmas cat and such, which is a scarecrow. I will be honest with you, I haven't digged much into that lore, but supposedly the scarecrow is a Christmas scarecrow that goes around punishing bad kids, from my understanding, that didn't behave. And this cryptid is supposedly older than most Christmas stories. So, but yeah, this road, maybe I should have went the other way. But I can't believe it's not more melted. But yeah, so to me, this Christmas scarecrow is probably the oldest tale I've found, back in like the 1500s. So I would have to dig up a lot of lore on them and figure out what would be the best way to go. Now, us as a team, I don't think we've dealt with anything as old like that, as far as anything like spirits and such go. There's one case, it's really pretty up here, but pretty slushy too. There's one case we handled that we were pretty sure was demonic, and who knows how old that was, how old that demon was. We don't generally believe that everything's demonic, but once in a blue moon you come across something like that. And what made us believe it was demonic was the scratches that was formed on the person's back in front of us, was what we believe were mocking the Holy Trinity. It was three scratch marks across her back in a set of three. So it would have been three here. You know, all together it would have been 666, I believe, if I remember correctly. That's been about 14 years ago now. And to tell you the truth, my mind's kind of more concentrating on keeping on the road than a case we had 14 years ago. But that's the joy of living in Pennsylvania, right? Hopefully you guys are enjoying the scenery though. Coming down this road, I needed studded tires, which I don't have for winter tires. Nice thing is there's no big cliffs around here. Big hills. So while I'm concentrating on this, why don't you guys tell me what you think Santa Claus is? Is he a cryptid? Is he a spirit? Is he what's known as what I like to call an eternal, a living being, a living person that's just been around forever and just lived thousands of years? I mean, even things like the Mothman, the Jersey Devil and such are only a few hundred years old. I believe there's also, and correct me if I'm wrong, a story about a winter witch. For some reason that term seems familiar to me for some reason. Now, I do a lot of reading and such, so I could be totally wrong on that, or maybe it was a creepypasta or something. Yeah, buddy, was a little slick through there. I did not mean to make this all about this road driving home. Generally, I could go down this road pretty quick, but if you guys were coming here hoping to hear Christmas stories, I apologize. I do appreciate you guys sticking around with me though. That way if I go off and get into some crazy video, y'all can share it for me. Alright, we're coming to the end. Enoughs. We're getting ready to hit the main road again. Well, thank you for riding along with me on that part. I'll probably avoid that road for the rest of the winter. I thought since it was a nice day it wouldn't be so bad. I was mistaken. I'm really surprised we didn't see more deer. Have you guys ever heard of and this is not Christmas related, but in the sense that deer and reindeer. But have you guys ever heard of not deer? I believe they're more common around Pennsylvania Avenue, but they're another cryptid, and they're spread out the state at least, so I wouldn't even know where to begin to find them. But they're very similar to a deer. I don't think they have antlers, so it must be more like doe, female deer. But they you'll see a herd of them, herd of deer, and as you're driving by or going through the woods or wherever you are, you hop in, there'll be one in the mix that just does not seem right. Like 98% of it's correct, but there's something about the face that just makes you look and say, hey, that's not a deer. And I'm assuming that's why they started calling that the cryptid that. But Google it, it's crazy. You'll even see pictures and such. These are one of those type of cryptids that many people are not aware of. Maybe they're just another form of skinwalkers or such. I don't know. But they're also, we call them around here not deer. So Google them. They're pretty fascinating. And when you see them, you'll see that they're quite different in the sense you can tell, you can sense they're not the same. But I would say, to me, if I had to put a bet on Santa, I'd say he's a spirit. And that's how he's able to get around so much, so quick. That would be my guess. I'm assuming that I'm in a dead zone, so I'm probably cutting in and out. So I apologize for that. So I'm just, instead of dragging it on, I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I wanted to chat. I got this new phone mount, so that way I can do more of these kind of videos if people are interested, and go from there. So I'll probably do a little research tonight and talk about another topic in the morning. I head into work about 3:30 in the morning, and I drive down these roads. Probably won't be the one I just came down. So I'm not sure what the topic will be. Feel free to drop a comment. I'll try to research it a little bit overnight. If I don't get a comment or it's something that I've done once before, I will try to either get updated information or come up with another topic to talk about. But yeah, I'll probably do a live tomorrow morning at 3:30 a.m. on my way to work, because I'll be honest with you, when I do them on the way to work, it helps wake me up, helps get my mind working, and it helps keep me motivated, because I tell you what, I am not a morning person, so driving to work at 3:30 in the morning is just not on my top list of fun things. Here the weather is supposed to turn bad, so hopefully I can get up out of my driveway, and so basically what I'm saying is, if you pay attention, I'll be live in the morning, 3:30 a.m. So on that note, y'all have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.